Dubrovnik, Italian Ragusa, port of Dalmatia, southeastern Croatia. Situated in the southern Adriatic Sea coast, it is usually regarded as the most picturesque city on the Dalmatian coast and is referred to as the Pearl of the Adriatic. Dubrovnik, derived from Dubrava in Croatian meaning grove, occupies a promontory jutting out into the sea under the bare limestone mass of Mount Surge. The port's sea fortifications rise directly from the water's edge, and the massive round tower, completed in 1464, of the Mincheta fortress dominates the city on the landward side. The old city of Dubrovnik was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. The population in 2001 was 31,756. The population in 2011 is 28,434. History. The city was founded about 614 as Reusa or Ragusium by Roman refugees fleeing the Slav and Avar attack of Epidurus just to the southeast. A colony of Slavs soon joined the Romans there, and from an early date the city formed a link between two great civilizations. After the fall of Rome, Dubrovnik was ruled by the Byzantine Empire. From the 9th to the 12th century, Dubrovnik defended itself against foreign powers, and in the period 1205 to 1358, it acknowledged Venetian suzerainty, though it retained much of its independence. The city republic was liberal in character, affording asylum to refugees of all nations. One of them, according to legend, was King Richard I, the Lionheart of England, who landed on the offshore island of Lochram in 1192 on his return from the Crusades, and abolishing the slave trade in 1418, and by means of treaty and tribute it enlarged its territory along the Dalmatian coast. In 1272, the city received a statute that incorporated Roman and local practices. Situated at the seaward end of overland trade routes to Byzantium and the Danube region, it became a great mercantile power. Ragusan land trade flourished throughout the Balkans. In 1420, when Dalmatia was sold to Venice, Dubrovnik remained a free city in all but name. For centuries, the people of Dubrovnik were able to preserve their city republic by skillful manoeuvring between east and west. A strategic treaty with Turkey protracted Dubrovnik's liberty but maintained the opportunity for a major breaking role between the Ottoman Empire and Europe. In the 16th century, Dubrovnik traded with India and the Americas. The Republic was among the first to recognise the independence of the United States in the 18th century, and the city contributed to Spain in 1588 for the Armada's abortive invasion of England. A great flourishing of art and literature in the 15th and 17th century earned it the title of the South Slav Athens. For the first time in the history of the South Slavs, the language of the people was introduced into literature. The city's literary history, however, never compared to its maritime and mercantile achievements. In 1667, an earthquake destroyed parts of the city, including the cathedral and many monasteries and palaces, and killed as many as 5,000 residents. The public did not regain its prosperity until the Napoleonic Wars. From the 1800s to 1805, as the only neutral Mediterranean state, it secured a large share of the carrying trade. Napoleon I subjugated Dubrovnik in 1808, and the Congress of Vienna, 1815, gave Dubrovnik to Austria. In 1918, it was incorporated into Yugoslavia. Many Dubrovnik historic buildings suffered damage in 1991 to 1992 during Croatia's struggle for independence, but much of the old city has since been restored. The contemporary city. The city walls, mostly a double line, have long been a source of pride for Dubrovnik. The walls were erected by the 16th century and run a course of about 6,365 feet, that's 1,940 metres in length, encircling most of the old city, and they reach a maximum height of about 80 feet, that's 25 metres. Along its course and within the walls lie several towers and fortresses, as well as numerous historic monuments. Beyond the walls are many villas surrounded by gardens. The basic city plan dates from 1292, when the port was rebuilt following a fire. The Straden, or Main Street, with beautiful late Renaissance houses on each side, runs along a valley that until 1272 was a marshy channel dividing the Latin island of Ragusa from the forest settlement of Dubrovnik. No motor vehicles are allowed inside the walls, and except for the Straden, the old city is a maze of picturesque narrow streets, many of them steep and twisting. Two 14th century convents stand at the ends of the city. The Franciscans guarded the western gate, while the Dominicans kept the east. The rector's palace, dating from the 15th century and built in the late Gothic style, was the seat of government of the Dubrovnik Republic and is a masterpiece of Dalmatian architecture. Other notable structures include numerous fortresses, such as Lovregenik, which sits atop a cliff, a 16-sided fountain and a bell tower, both of which originally date from the 15th century, and also a 15th century Jewish synagogue that is among the oldest in Europe. The island of Lokrum is famous for its gardens and orange groves, and it also includes a fortress and a monastery. Direct rail lines connect Dubrovnik to surrounding countries, but there are only indirect links with other Croatian cities. From its harbour at nearby Gruž, ships ply other Dalmatian ports and to Italy. The port and tourism are the leading factors in the city's economy, and there are some light industries. There is an airport in nearby Čilipi, with services to Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, and several major European cities. Dubrovnik is home to many fine museums. The Museum of Dubrovnik, sited in the rector's palace, contains extensive collections of furniture and uniforms. The inventory of Dubrovnik's old pharmacy, founded in the 14th century, jewellery, embroideries, and paintings are all displayed in the Franciscan monastery. The Maritime Museum, established in 1941 and located in a former fortress, chronicles the city's seafaring past. The Dubrovnik State Archives, with manuscripts in numerous languages, and some dating to 800 years ago, are located in the Sponza Palace, formerly a mint. There are also archaeological, ethnographic, theatrical museums. A summer arts festival featuring theatre and music and other annual festivals attract many tourists to the scenic city. Dubrovnik, Italian Ragusa, port of Dalmatia, southeastern Croatia. Situated in the southern Adriatic Sea coast, it is usually regarded as the most picturesque city on the Dalmatian coast and is referred to as the Pearl of the Adriatic. Dubrovnik, derived from Dubrava in Croatian meaning grove, occupies a promontory jutting out into the sea under the bare limestone mass of Mount Surge.